Hi, I'm Reb Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 44 years. I'm going through the lessons again this year, asking Jesus to clarify for me, and then I write from that clarity, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. My background today is actually in my own backyard. I was taking a picture of the sky. It was so pretty. It was at night. Um, so we're continuing our review lessons today, and we're on lesson 90. This is the second review. Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. I'm beginning to understand that these lessons are not teaching me how to solve the problems I think I have, but how to transcend them. If I try to solve problems at the level they appear, I will spend my life fixing one thing after another. But Jesus is showing me that what I call problems all come from one mistaken belief, that I am separate from God. When I'm willing to question that belief and look with the Holy Spirit instead of the ego, the problem is undone rather than solved. I'm not fixing my life. I am changing my mind about what is real. I always say that the only problem we have is that we think we're separated from God, and the solution is that we are not. Here, Jesus is showing us how one problem appears and how the one problem appears in form. In separation, we have grievances. Put the last two people on earth together in a room, and before long, there'll be a grievance. Since there appear to be many people on earth with many grievances, we need a solution. Otherwise, we could remain in this dream state forever. We are given the solution in miracles. The process is so simple that it's easy to overlook. If I have a grievance of any kind, I remind myself that it has already been solved. I do this by switching minds. I look at it with the Holy Spirit, which is in my right mind, rather than continuing to look with my split mind. That's it. By choosing the right mind to experience a dream, I am already stepping outside the dream and letting it go. It is forgiveness, as the Course teaches it. It is freedom. I had one of those weird nights when I lay awake more than I slept. I woke up this morning with the thought that I would be tired during the day and it would be hard to do my work. That thought is accompanied by anxiety, but I'm entitled to live a miraculous life, a life of joy and freedom. And so I opened my mind to a different interpretation. I'm willing to be free and happy. So right now, I am fine. And instead of dreading a day in which my energy level will be low, I am peaceful and happy to be doing this contemplation. Whatever happens during the day, I will recognize the problem. I think I'm separate from God, and so I think I can have a life outside God. That is a life apart from love, peace, and happiness. But this is not true. I can have an imagined existence of this, but I remain as God created me and where He established me. Sometimes I notice that I hesitate to do this. It always feels like a mystery to me when I notice the hesitation, but when examined, I see that it's a decision I'm making. Maybe I feel justified in my grievance, and I like feeling justified. It feels temporarily satisfying to be right. But it also makes me feel anxious since I know that being right is not the same as being happy and certainly doesn't bring me peace. It takes a personal self to feel satisfaction at being right, and that's the problem. The belief in a personal self. I am not separate. This is just an experience, and from that experience, I'm learning that separation is not reality, and I don't want it. Again, the separation belief is the problem. The solution is that it's not true. Last night, while taking a shower, my mind wandered, and suddenly I realized it had wandered to fear thoughts. I told myself to stop that, as if I were divided against myself. But myself was like a recalcitrant child who was determined to have its way no matter how much it hurt. It was like I was clinging to the fear thoughts even as I chose against them. I had a moment in which I felt afraid of myself, but then I relaxed and let the thoughts be as I looked at them and realized they were meaningless and that I really didn't want them. That did the trick this time. I've come to believe that what determines the outcome of the forgiveness process is my true desire. I truly want to be free of fear. The problem seemed to be possible unwelcome outcomes, but the problem was, again, the belief in separation. I believed I was separate from others who wanted their way, and I wanted mine. I believed I was separate from God, which is the only way I could experience fear. The solution is that separation isn't reality. It is a belief that I can let go. Another way it can happen is when the solution is not one I want to consider. Last year, I had an unusual physical symptom, and the answer that seemed obvious is not one I wanted. I didn't want to go to the doctor, so I kept putting off doing anything about it. But like all ego solutions, it didn't work. I could tell myself that I'm not thinking about it, but the fear remains there anyway, acknowledged or not. But I know that peace is my goal, and I kept looking at it with the Holy Spirit. I worked I worked on it until it worked its way out of my mind. It's kind of funny how that happens. Every problem I seem to have comes from the belief that I'm a body, separate from other bodies. I solve the problem as I bring it to the solution and realize that an experience of a body is not reality. I am spirit and thus invulnerable. I have no problems. It's not a linear thought process as it would be with a split mind relying on past experience to guide the present decision-making process. Instead, I relax and let ideas come to the surface to be examined with the right mind. In this way, cause and effect can be seen and corrected. If there is something to be done for the body, I will know what it is because I will not be defending myself against the solution. I've done this kind of thing often enough to trust it, having seen it work. I trust it even though it is opposite to what I've always done in the past. I expect a miracle because I'm bringing the grievance to the solution. I'm grateful to myself for my trust and grateful to Jesus for the miracle of a healed mind. And so today, I will not try to solve problems. I will simply recognize that they have already been answered and choose again. Thank you so much for joining me in this reading. I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. And I'll be back soon with another reading. See you then.